Hi, welcome to another episode of Hot Takes. Andy Cook is His Majesty's Chief Inspector of Constabulary. His job is to go around, look at the police, look at the various aspects of policing, police work, procedures, personnel and so forth, and then to report on it to make sure everything is hunky-dory, A-OK. And apparently, and according to Andy Cook himself, everything is not A-OK. In fact, he's got some particularly strident complaints, and he's saying things must change. One of these particular things is the recording of crimes, and in particular, hate crimes, because he's saying they ain't hate crimes. Now, according to Mr. Cook, what's happening is the crime and hate bills and all this sort of thing is so tenuous, so ill understood, so very badly written and very, very poorly understood by policemen themselves that they do not understand what constitutes a hate crime. And so a lot of them are recording what is just banter, what is just words said in jest, or words said in anger, none of which are particularly hate crimes. We all say things in anger that we don't actually mean, but our own frustrations let things out and so forth. And indeed, things said in anger are a defence in law. You can, for example, commit libel and walk away free. Not libel, slander, sorry, libel's written, but slander, where it's said. You can commit slanderous acts, but if it's done in the heat of an argument, for example, that is a defence and it is not prosecutable. So this is one of the defences you have. However, police are deeply worried because they don't understand the, should we say, the detail of this act. They tend to over-report. And so incidents that should just be, okay, look, he said that, whatever, it's not there, it's not a hate crime, walk away, nothing to do, nothing to see here, move along, are now being recorded as hate crimes. And this gives, what Andy Cook says, a bias towards hate crimes. He's saying that there's far more hate crimes being reported than are actually happening. And so it makes it look as though there's more hate in the world than there actually is. But the reason is police are too scared not to act. They're too scared to say, look, this isn't a crime, go away. So they have to be seen to be doing something. And what they're doing is incredibly damaging. Because, they don't want to be seen taking sides kind of thing. And that's another thing which we'll talk about in a moment. They don't want to be seen taking sides. They don't want to say, look, yeah, what do you call it? Oh, look, I call him perf. Oh. It was an angry fight or something. So look, just grow up and go away. That should be the response. Oh, right, it's a hate crime, right? Because they don't want to be seen as being bigoted. They want to appear impartial. But in fact, what they're actually doing is the complete opposite. And they're making themselves look very, very authoritarian where they shouldn't be. And they're alienating themselves from the general public. They're distancing themselves. The public thinks it's them and us. Policing by consent has gone. Oh, you only police if you're a special case, a special group. Oh, look, somebody said something which I personally felt was racist. Oh, well, that's a hate crime then. It wasn't a hate crime. It's just that person felt it. Just because somebody feels it doesn't make it so. Opinions are just that. They're not facts. And yet people could have their lives ruined by having a hate crime recorded against them when it was no such thing. And this is what's happening. And so he's saying this needs to be reeled back. Policemen need to be taught that not everything is a hate crime and that they mustn't use hate crime legislation as the lowest common denominator when it comes to deciding what to do. And indeed, some forces, he's saying, are so overly keen to be seen to avoid controversy. that, for example, one force issues a male and a female warrant card to all officers, so that in certain circumstances the correct card can be shown. This is just weird. It's pandering to the mentally ill. Stop it. Be who you are. You know, it's madness. It's madness gone wrong. It's wokery in police form, and it should stop. Anyway, on top of that, he's saying another thing that the police should do, or rather, what the police must never do, is take part in things. Policemen must not wear multicoloured rainbow lanyards, for example. That's a symbol. That's saying they're pro-gay, pro-LGB. And by being pro-LGB and wearing your rainbow lanyard, it means that you must, by definition, be anti-straight. Now, whether they're anti-straight or not is beside the point, but the perception is if you are pro one, you are anti the other, and therefore you are seen as biased. And so he says policemen must not wear any symbol of pro-LGBT or pro any religion or pro anything. And he says they must not be wearing anything that is pro anything, because that by definition means they are anti something else. Policemen must be in uniform. The uniform code must be adhered to, and nowhere in the uniform code is there an effing rainbow. My words, not his, but he's right. And so they mustn't be wearing anything that indicates any kind of allegiance to any group, religion, anything. Because again, it's alienating the police. It's removing the police from the people. Already people don't trust the police, and it's no surprise. And we've seen over the events of the last few months where the police constantly attack the people of this country, and then they label people far right and extremists and, oh, look at them Nazis and all this. And when people are no such thing. And when we've actually seen the police watch a guy and say, well, we'll have him, and the guy's doing nothing, but they've been recorded doing it, we'll just have him, and pulling him out and arresting him and that. I think it's far too late. The police are already alienated. The police have taken a side, and that side is not the people of this country. This side is the aliens who come into this country, foreigners, invaders, illegal immigrants. That's whose side the police are on. We've seen this time and time again. Which is why I personally, and it's my opinion, if walking down the street saw a policeman getting beaten up, I'd walk the other way. Not my problem. The police have chosen their side, and it ain't my side. And so, you know, they can wear as many lanyards as they like. It makes no difference to me. I have no regard for the police anymore. But this is what this inspector is doing, and he's saying the police have got to stop doing it. The police have got to stop taking sides. They've got to be impartial. And when the police are being used as a political weapon by the government, they can no longer be impartial. And when they are wearing adornments, they can no longer be impartial. And when they are criticising and making hate speech accusations on people for no evidence or nothing, he says they cannot be impartial. He says, and that is why the police now are in a deep, deep, bad place with the public. And that has got to be repaired. Well, the police forces in this country are now so bad, I think, and I go along with Peter Hitchens with this, that the police need to be disbanded. A whole new force has to start from scratch, with no one in the current police forces being allowed to join, and just start the police from the beginning again, but with new rules. And number one is no politics, no bias, no sides, and completely impartial. Won't happen. Every oligarchy gets the police force it deserves. Thanks a lot. Bye.